Oh, I tell you, Loree McBride's bombs are giving me right here. This I'm wearing makeup, but this eye is really red. You see that? I have a yeast infection in this eye, and this is all swollen tissue here, and it itches, and sometimes it hurts right there in the tear gland. And what I did last night is I increased my Seroquel a little bit, and that helped a bit. Another thing that I'm doing is I got a cup from my men for Christmas, and it's designed that when I drink from it, I stimulate my men's penis. And I'm hoping that I'm going to get some Zack Night semen in there to drink, and that will help me with this infection. I can also feel the infection in my guts. My guts feel painful and bloated. So Loree McBride is dropping a ton of bombs over my head. And yesterday when I was walking, I think I saw it like 20 chemtrails in the sky above me. So she's just going on a rampage. And I think what's going on is that my men have taken Loree and my family to court. Uh, Terrence Jenkins told me he would be doing this, and he's got him in court right now. And the trial is about whether my family is trying to falsely imprison me and get me locked up based on lies. And he's charging them with that crime. It's that would be really bad if I got locked up because you all need me. You need me as the Empress and as the president. I'm running for president on an independent ticket. So I'm not just thinking about myself, but we cannot allow my family, like my sister is BFF with Loree McBride, we cannot allow them to stop me from doing my job or from hindering me. So, one thing I learned when I played dead as we attempted to take out Melania Trump is that if the Jesuits ever succeeded in killing me, they would go after my supporters next. We learned that because when they thought I was dead, they were bombing the hell out of the planet. I mean, I was getting a terrible headache. And I was telling Terrence, wow, this is terrible what these Jesuits do when they think I'm dead. I said, I feel really bad for the world. I mean, I need to stay alive, not just for my sake, but you see, I am the biggest obstacle to them getting world power. And so if they ever succeed in taking me out, they would go after you all next. Any of you that are my supporters that are following me, because Loree knows that anybody who's a good, decent human being who can think for themselves and who's not her cuck will not follow her. And that's what I'm trying to explain right now. Okay, so anyways, what I've been doing with my eye is I've been kind of stimulating the lid because that's like stimulating the tip of my men's penis to get them to eject. I need Zack Knight. I need you to put some of your semen in this eye. He's got a antibiotic semen that deals with just about every germ in existence. It's like a super potent antibiotic. It deals with everything, yeast, virus, everything. And Loree McBride is dropping bombs like crazy. By the way, if I'm not the only one who's suffering, if there are other people out there and you're getting the itchy, swollen eyes, the red eyes, the bloating, the abdominal pain, you may want to contact my men at gailsmen@yahoo.com and ask for some of Zack's semen because he will help. He's very, very good about letting us. He's gifted with a special type of semen that has potent antibiotic properties, and it can kill every single germ in existence, from what I understand. It takes it all out. So what I've been doing is I've been getting some of the water from that cup and splashing it on my eye, hoping some of Zack's semen's in there. But I think I need a really strong dose. This eye's been in pain, swollen. You can see a little bit, but I'm wearing makeup. So anyways, I don't think I'm alone. I think other people are probably getting sick too. Though we have taken out a lot of her space fleet, so she may just be focusing all of her attacks on me. So I don't know if you all are getting hit or not. I'll check the comment section and see. But if so, contact my men at gailsmen@yahoo.com. Now on to politics. As you all know, I'm running for president as an independent. And I'll let you know what I think is going on in politics right now. Basically, what's going on in politics is you have two choices. You have two choices. It's either me or Loree McBride. Loree is trying to get you all distracted. And she's trying to make you believe that the choices are between Democrat and Republican. But that is just an illusion. Basically, the establishment Dems and the establishment Republicans are the same party, which I would call the Loree McBride political party, okay? And the ones that belong to what I would call the Gabriel Chana Independent political party are certain politicians within each political party who do not support Loree McBride. And from what I understand right now, I think I can be fairly comfortable in saying those politicians are Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie Sanders, and people like Ron Paul, Rand Paul, Jesse Ventura, Ben Carson. I might have left somebody out, but people like that. And if you'll notice, you may say, well, how can I tell? Your safest bet, just vote for me. My name will be on the ballot. That I am the least corrupt. Like I said, if you want to make sure that Loree McBride does not become president, you may say, but her name's not on the ballot. Yeah, but she's using proxies. Like I think Michael Bloomberg, I think is a Loree proxy. I think every Democratic candidate on that ballot, with the exception of Tulsi Gabbard, is probably going to end up being a Loree McBride proxy if they get into the presidency. Bernie Sanders is a mixed bag. Like, I think he's really good on his stand with Medicare for all, but his foreign policy seems to be pro-Loree. How can I tell if a politician's pro-Loree in foreign policy? Basically, if they ascribe to all this Russiagate garbage, if they believe in regime change wars, that is to go into a country to try to force that country to become like an American puppet government, which is basically what happened with Ukraine, by the way. Ukraine was an independent nation, and the Jesuits, and at that time Zack was evil when this happened, the Jesuits, and Zack was their leader, the Jesuits created a coup in Ukraine using their agents who were actually, they're like Nazis, and they took over Ukraine, and Ukraine became a Jesuit-controlled country. Though I think the latest Ukrainian leader is trying to get away from the Nazi influence in Ukraine, and Loree doesn't like that, which is probably why she had all of the Democrats go after Trump for his conversation with the Ukrainian leader. Simply because she's losing. Loree McBride is a sociopath political leader, okay? So if you vote for Loree, you're voting for a sociopath. If you vote for me, you're voting for somebody who is neither a sociopath or a narcissist. So basically, Loree McBride has all the world set up for her to be the boss, for her to control everybody. And she basically has to control anybody who's not a narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, or a codependent. You said she's got the whole world set up to either team up with her as her fellow narcissists, sociopaths, or psychopaths, or to be her codependent. You may say, codependent, yeah. She's got the world right now in a very unhealthy mental state. And I think anyone who's got an ounce of perception has been able to pick up on this. And what's going on is she's created what I would call a codependent Democrat and Republican Party. So basically, because of Loree McBride's influence, the Republican and Democratic Party have been shot to hell. That's why I had to create my own party, the Gabriel Chana Independent, party. You say codependent political parties. How does that work? The way it works is she's gaslighting everybody, and especially me, because I'm probably one of the most aware people out there. And that is, when you start perceiving reality, what's really going on, which is a battle between me and Loree, then she says, then she'll gaslight you and say, oh, you're crazy. There's no such thing as clones. You're crazy. You're crazy. That isn't true. Now, if she can't put the crazy label on you, then she'll just try to get you to question your reality. This is what sociopaths do. Now, Dr. Ramani Versula, she's really good. I watch a lot of her videos. She says that all sociopaths and psychopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are sociopaths and psychopaths. So, and narcissists have a very fragile ego, and they come across really arrogant, but deep down underneath, they're very insecure about all the grandiose things they feel that they have to believe about themselves. Like Loree, deep down in her heart, knows that the real Brent Spiner can't stand her. But she has to believe, her narcissism has to believe that Brent has real feelings for her, and that one day she will get the real Brent Spiner to see the light. In the meanwhile, she uses the Brent Spiner clone to help her play her game and help her perpetuate her illusion to the world that she's married to Brent Spiner, and that I'm the crazy lady who's had a 20-something plus year obsession with Brent, and that I'm paranoid schizophrenic, and that she is the entitled, legit, beautiful, gorgeous Hollywood glamour girl that the real Brent Spiner fell in love with. She keeps changing her dates though. Like, she actually entered Brent Spiner's life in 1992 as his drug rapist. And she maintained the relationship by threatening death on me if Brent would not allow her to play this girlfriend-boyfriend game. And Brent, because he was willing to die for me, was willing to play the game for the same reason that Donald Trump played the game with Melania Trump. You see, both Melania and Loree maintained their control over their codependent partner. And in Loree's case, it was Brent Spiner, and in Melania's case, it was Donald Trump, by threatening death on me. They thought, well, I know the one thing they don't want is, because they love Gail, is if we threaten to kill Gail, they'll do what we want. And they're right. And that's how Loree McBride got Brent to be her partner. And she's using the same tactic. She thought, well, it worked on Brent. I was able to get my name plastered everywhere as the wife of Brent. I was even able to steal his sperm and impregnate myself artificially and create a baby, so Brent is stuck. I've got a child by him. Everybody knows great. And she's touting, she's actually raising this child to be another narcissist. I can tell by looking at him. It's really sad. And Brent finally had the courage to break away from being her codependent. What'd she say? What's a codependent? A codependent is one who questions their own reality. I don't know if I'd say Brent was a full codependent, but he was sort of a codependent, because he had to play her game. He had to promote her lies in public, and that's what codependents do. They promote the lie of the person who's controlling them, the narcissist who's controlling them, because if they don't, that narcissist will punish them. And I was a codependent with my first husband, with my mother. And, the narcissist needs to feel like they're super important, and they need the person who's their codependent to promote the illusion of their grandiosity, their superiority. And if you quit playing that game, they'll punish you. And if they're a sociopath or psychopath, the punishment can often mean murder or death of innocence. And that's what we got with Loree McBride. So she's got the world set up right now where she is the sociopath boss over both political parties. And she is controlling which candidates can see the light and which she's going to bury. She hates Tulsi Gabbard because Tulsi Gabbard thinks for herself. Tulsi Gabbard refuses to be Loree's codependent politician. But the rest of them, she's like got the strings on all the puppets. And Bernie Sanders, sad to say, if he tries to break away, Loree tightens the strings on Bernie and suffocates him, and then he kind of like says, "Oh, okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and say this RussiaGate garbage is true. Yeah. If I don't, she's going to suffocate me. I won't be able to get into the debates. I'll be out of the Democratic Party." So Bernie, sad to say, he's caving in a bit. Tulsi Gabbard, I guess because she's a soldier, she's tougher than Bernie. She just says, forget it. I'm not playing this game. And she's the only problem with Tulsi, though, is she refuses to leave the Dem Party, and they are going to rig it against her because Loree's running the Dem Party. So Tulsi won't play the codependent game with Loree. So Loree says, I got to bury Tulsi. And she's just changing all the requirements. You know, you can see what's going on. So, but basically, there's no difference between the two parties. Establishment Dems, establishment Republicans. They're just the same party under different names. Different names. That's it. The only thing is they spout different speeches. That's the only difference. Their actions are the same. So, like the Republicans say, we won't have a national health care plan because it would cause us to go bankrupt. When in actuality, my national health care plan saves people money. And my men have put it into action. You see, it's kind of like single payer, kind of Medicare for all, but blend between Medicare for all and single payer, but it's even better than that. I've already described it in a previous video, but she lies. So she sets up fake arguments to get you distracted in these arguments. And they're not even, they're not important. They're not what's really going on. It's all delusion. So the Republicans say, we are against a national health care plan because people can't pick their own private insurance, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Then the Democrats say, oh, the Republicans are against a national health care plan because they're being bought out by big pharma and because they're getting paid lobbyist money. The truth is both parties are being bought out by Loree's big pharma and lobbyist money. They're just using different arguments, getting you all distracted. And the truth is, if you vote for an establishment Dem or an establishment Republican, nothing's going to change. It's going to be status quo. They're going to spout all these pretty speeches. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. And they're going to make you believe that because you chose their side, you're on the side where all those promises that you've been told about will take place. But nothing of the sort. She's a typical narcissistic, Loree McBride's a typical narcissistic sociopath. She's telling you what you want to hear. Just like a narcissist will say, I love you. But they don't really love you. They love themselves. But they'll kind of like sugarcoat you and say these sweet, pretty words. And then when you start, and then when they think they got you brainwashed enough or you support them unconditionally, then they start pulling the strings. And then the person's noticing something's going on. Hey, that's not what you said was going to happen. Why, you said you were to give me a national health care plan, and now that you're in office, nothing of the sort is happening. And you're blaming it on the other party. You're saying, well, they're blocking me in Congress, so I can't pass my legislation, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And then Loree's going, I fooled you all. You thought I was going to give you all a national health care plan. And what's really happening is I lied to you because I'm a narcissistic sociopath and my proxies lied to you. And now they're going to do exactly what I want. I want Big Pharma to continue because I'm rolling the dough in for my personal bank account. She doesn't give a flip about you guys unless you side with her as a fellow sociopath or narcissist. No, she and her rich cohorts who got rich out of stealing all of you guys' money, they want to live high on the hog forever. And they want to make sure that you vote for their proxies so they can continue to live high on the hog forever. Why? And she's telling you what you want to hear, putting candidates up who tell you what you want to hear, and then once they get in office, she has no intention of having them fulfill their campaign promises. They ain't gonna do nothing, man. It's gonna be status quo. You may say, well, you voted for Trump, and Trump broke all. I'll say you're saying Trump's not one of them. Okay, I'm gonna say this much about Trump. Trump was stymied because he was married to Melania, and Melania basically was the president for most of Trump's term. And she kept him in line by threatening death on me if he wouldn't do what she wanted. She's out of the picture now, and I've been observing Trump, and he appears to be trying to be the person that he ran on in 2016. So I'm feeling a little bit better about Trump now, and I plan on having him in my cabinet as a press secretary because he is a great communicator. Bernie Sanders. I've been observing him. I don't like him as much as I like Tulsi Gabbard, so I'm not going to make him VP, but he's pretty consistent in his stand on Medicare for all. And I respect that about him. So I want to put him in charge of Health and Human Services, but I wouldn't trust him anywhere else. And I may have to supervise him there too, just to make sure that my national health care plan gets put into place. Actually, as Empress, I've wanted to be put into place, and it hasn't happened because Loree's got some people convinced that I'm not really the Empress, and so we haven't been able to enforce my laws. That's one reason I want to be president, is I would like to see my laws enforced. If my national health care plan was enforced, it would be so good for everybody. It saves everybody money. You get veterinary care. It even covers some natural medicine, and we control the cost of prescription drugs. But Loree's blocking this because, you see, she's got an alliance with Big Pharma, and she doesn't want her gravy train stopped. She's making a ton of money off the military-industrial complex too, which is why she doesn't like Tulsi Gabbard, because Tulsi Gabbard's going to stop her gravy train. And problem with Tulsi, though, Tulsi is not going to be able to overcome the rigging in Loree McBride's Democratic Party. So anyways, I'm telling you folks, the election is between me and Loree McBride. You're either going to vote for me or you're going to vote for Loree. If you like having a sociopath and a narcissist running your life, then vote for Loree McBride. If you want somebody who believes in freedom, who's going to really try to meet your needs and try to give you a good national health care plan, try to keep you out of ridiculous and expensive regime change wars, and only go into wars that count. The only war that counts right now is the war between myself and Loree McBride. We need to take her and her followers out. We're dealing with an army of psychopaths and sociopaths. And that's the real politics. Everything else is just smoke. It's not the real news. And we've set it up so that Tulsi Gabbard, when I believe that Tulsi, Bernie, and Donald Trump have agreed to put their name on the ballot with my name in parentheses right next to it, which means that if you vote for them, you're voting for me. That'll be in the general election. Plus, my name will be there on the ballot too. So if you don't see that on the ballot, or you don't see my name on the ballot, you can write me in. Jesus told me to tell you all that. So that is basically what's going on in politics. As I'm going to have a link underneath this video showing you Jesse Ventura. I've decided to add him to my cabinet in the Office of Budget and Management. He's really good. He was a former Minnesota governor. I'm going to be in charge of everybody. I'm going to give Tulsi a lot of autonomy because I really respect a lot of her. And for positions that I haven't filled when I become president, I'm going to let Brent Spiner and Vladimir Putin fill those spots for me, using scans from our nanotechnology research team to see, using brain and emotion reads to see who supports me best and who would be most qualified for the positions that I haven't already talked about that I'm going to fill. I think I am. I'm going to put Vladimir Putin in charge of trade because he's got a PhD in economics, and I want him to deal with our trade, anything that has to do with trade or economics, trade. He'd be really good at that. Right now, one of the things I'm going to do is take up all these sanctions against all these countries, remove them all. They're stupid. That's Loree McBride doing that, trying to control everybody like a sociopath, narcissist that she is. All those sanctions, I'm going to take off all the sanctions. The United States needs to stop its hubris. We're not superior to all these other countries that we need to put sanctions on. I'm going to take all that off. We need to get an alliance with these other countries. We don't need to make them our enemies. See, Loree McBride needs division because that's how narcissists make codependents out of all the nations. We're not going to let her do that, play her narcissist game. The sanctions will be lifted. You say, will you have sanctions on we might. I might put a sanction on a country if they're run by Loree McBride. Yeah, but I think an even better way to deal with them is militarily. I mean, if a country's run by Loree McBride, we need to just militarily take them out, take the leadership out. But only in that case. Like, I'm not going to take out leaders that honor my conspiracy law and that believe in peace and freedom. We're going to leave them alone. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to mention is I have updated Bible for Tribulation Saints, and I've added a new chapter in there entitled Psychopath Melania Trump, and I'll have a link to that underneath this video as well. I feel like people need to know all the behind the scenes stuff that happened when we were trying to take out Melania. So I've got all the correspondence between me and my men in Bible for Tribulation Saints, and Jesus was advising us a little bit too. And you'll get to see, you'll get a really detailed presentation of everything that was happening behind the scenes as we carried out Project Pubegate, which was to execute Melania so that she would quit being the United States president by coup. She took over the country using a coup. And she built up her military so that it became so formidable that it was more powerful than the combination of Church of Gail and Zack Knight's space fleet. So we were stuck in a stalemate with her for months because we couldn't move because she had superior military power to us. And the Psychopath Melania Trump chapter in Bible for Tribulation Saints goes into how, using courage, perception, and brilliance, we were able to outsmart her, outmaneuver her, and take her down. So my Bible for Tribulation Saints has been updated to let you know how Project Pubegate was carried out, the behind the scenes, all the detailed behind the scenes stuff, and how we carried it out step by step, and all the stuff that was happening while I was playing dead and all that, so that we could take out Melania. It's a tale of courage, daring, and brilliance. How we took down this horrible woman who had no. She would have nuked the whole world if we didn't take her out. She would have destroyed the universe. She was a psychopath, an insane psychopath, so full of her own vanity that she was willing to nuke the universe in order for her to be established as the sexiest woman alive. And that's why she wanted me dead, because I was her main competition for that title. So anyways, check out I have updated Bible for Tribulation Saints. My next audio book is going to be the last part of Bible for Tribulation Saints, which is the most recent stuff, including Melania Trump and how we dealt with her. So that's going to be my next audiobook, and I've created the Kindle book for that already. Some people have already ordered it, and it covers all of what Melania did and everything from 2017 to 2020, and how Loree got Antichrist powers. It's the most recent stuff in our dealings with Jesus and with the Loree McBride Jesuit. So go ahead and check the links underneath this video to get the latest on my run for president, my update to Bible for Tribulation Saints, which has a chapter about psychopath Melania Trump and how we took her out and everything all about that. And also the bombs that Loree's dropping, that's got a very toxic germ, and I think she's making a lot of people sick.